pretty much.
Yeah, it comes
Flat
from
out.
Islam.
It comes
yeah.
directly from Islam and the Quran and Sharia's law, and it's all really fucking sad. And
Yeah, it's all really like sad and dumb, and the logic's like stupid.
so
The
I'm gonna go and play it now,
All right, go ahead.
and we'll get into it further.
I think we'd all like to think and believe that slavery doesn't exist anymore. But according to the official statistics, in 2016, there were about 46 million slaves on the planet. 70% of whom are women. And the remaining 30 were men.
Lovely.
So which states still have slavery? Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Today we're going to be talking about a country that is probably the last one in the world where slavery is still considered the norm.
Hold on, can you pause it real quick?
If you
I
want
want
to
to make
try
a
to
correction.
characterize this country in a few words,
This country is not the last country to have slavery. There are countries in South America as well as North Korea and other countries like in Asia, Europe, and mainly South America and Africa that still have slavery. So this part of the video is kind of wrong because there are a lot of communist countries. It's mainly third world countries that still do slavery, like third world countries where they don't really have that much technology. So it's really not known because it's not really much documented because a lot of these countries are like so far behind where they don't even have any data or anything known about them.
Hey Triton, you want to know why they still use slavery? I can sum it up in one word.
What is the word?
Economics.
Yep.
They're so economically declined that the concept of slavery existing is what allows them to exist.
Yeah, that's why they do it, because without these slaves and without these people that they beat and torture and like do horrible things to, the economy's fucked.
Like if no one did the work that these slaves are doing, the work would never get done because nobody would do it. It's the exact premise. It's the exact premise around the Civil War a little bit though, because it was the same argument with the cotton fields and shit. Like no one wants to go out there and pick cotton. No one wants to do like manual labor to the point they're fucking dead, but they're forced to do it. That's the whole key of slavery. It's more based around greed and the lack of.
Based about greed.
It's greed. Can I finish, Triton?
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's based directly on greed with a lack of human rights and human value of life. There is no concept of life in this country. You're lucky to live past 30 in most third worlds.
Oh yeah, and because I've watched this video beforehand to do my research, and basically the life expectancy in this country is only like 60 years, 30 to 60 years. Like you don't live that long in this country because this country conditions are just horrible. Because for one, they're in the middle of the desert for one, which means like nothing but heat and heat strokes. Hydration's really low. They barely get any rain, and not only that, but their country like is going through a bunch of corruption and wars as it is. And not only that, but if you're not Muslim, you're basically turned into a slave because you're not fair skinned, quote unquote. Is their excuse? Which I don't know. I really, that's one thing I didn't really understand. It's like what I mean.
They're using racial premise as the excuse for slavery.
Yeah, they're using
their doctrines.
They're not even using racial. They're using religion mainly. Religion.
Yes, but by connecting race to the religion.
To be fair skinned, you have to be Muslim, and to go to heaven, you have to like serve the Muslims, basically. And that's what they tell these slaves too. They're like, if you don't become our slaves, you're gonna go to hell, and you're not going to heaven.
That's the same construct that they did for that the Iraqis have used. That's the same construct that many ancient societies that are long gone now had used for slavery.
I think that's what they used to
if you're bound in chains, you're incapable of spiritually being free. Yeah, if you aren't bound in chains, you're bound to dying in hellfire or condemned, basically. So by creating like not even a political, it's more of like a religious zealot kind of behavior amongst the masses towards that specific ecosystem, you create the slavery that exists.
Yep.
I was going to say,
watch this video.
Well, not only that, but we want to talk about the concept of the Civil War slavery versus this. With the Civil War slavery, a lot of that was because people were sold in trade as property. This, however, is different from it. How it's different is because, one, they don't sell their slaves. I don't mean to cut you off, but just to correct you, they do sell the slaves here. They do sell this. They do have like a whole slave trade in this country. Well, I'm out of a shot.
Like the villages in this country, like they trade slaves to each other, and they sell these slaves as property. Basically, like if you're born as a slave, you're basically property. They could sell you. They could shove And this stuff's in the video too. They will literally shove.
Trenton, don't get it far into the video. We're only like not even a minute in.
Yeah, and I haven't even finished.
Watch it.
So what I was saying here, as far as their slavery compared to the U.S. slavery, you also have to understand that a lot of the slavery wasn't so much about keeping the slaves. It was the thing of state rights. A lot of people don't understand that the biggest point of the Civil War was not slavery. While there was a connection to it, the biggest point of it was state rights. The argument was the federal government should not have the right to stomp on the states' rules and regulations based on the Constitution. And at the time, it was not written in the Constitution to give everybody who had a different skin color the same equal rights. That's the biggest difference between this and this.
Yeah, and there was also the taxation that was a big part of the Civil War to some extent as well.
Yeah, the taxation of the goods, supplies, which most part was like cotton and whiskey and a few others, stemming over from the whiskey tax.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and continue.
Yeah.
Slavery. So, Mauritania. The Islamic Republic of Mauritania is a state in West Africa, which has access to the Atlantic Ocean. The Sahara Desert leaves its traces everywhere in this country, covering everything with sand, even the city streets. It is responsible for many of the country's hardships, such as the lack of water and vegetation, poverty, heat, and dust storms. Mauritania has neither rich resources, nor developed industry, nor tourism. The country's deposits of iron and copper ores are mined by foreign companies and don't actually belong to the local authorities. The country's manufacturing base is the most underdeveloped in Africa. Mauritania is one of the most economically underdeveloped countries in the world. The country is in 131st place in terms of GDP per capita. 40% of the population lives below the poverty line. The unemployment rate in the country is 30%. The average life expectancy is 60 years.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel happy for the people that are unemployed in this country, considering they have modern day slavery. Like, is that counting the slaves as employed?
No, I don't think they're counting the slaves, because technically the slaves are not even counted as citizens in the country. So I don't think the slaves are included.
So then the people that are unemployed are just literally living their lives and are like, fuck dealing with this economy.
So to be honest, though, it's kind of expected though, because the country is basically like a war zone. It's like a desert. It's not really a country. It's not really a government. They call it a government, but it's like when you go there, it's like the dude said, it's so undeveloped. The economy's shit. Like, you're better off like doing your own thing, building a shed and doing things on your own than assisting help from the government or getting a job from the government.
What do you say, Coalfire?
Wait. What were you gonna say, Rex?
Then the government would probably label them as rebels because they wouldn't be following their government rules.
Yeah, that's another factor of it. That's probably why genocide probably happens in this country. That's one section.
That's probably why there's been like a lot of war in this country, like a lot of war and a lot of corruption too. A lot, like the government's so unstable that they don't even they can't even run the government right, because apparently there's been a bunch of corruption in the government and the government refuses to do anything about it. But the corruption's so poor that the citizens don't even listen to the government.
But Coalfire, what do you think?
Yeah, Coalfire, let's hear your opinion on it.
Well, so far, while I'm hearing it sounds like it's pretty fucked up on the situation with the economics and other things, like the fact that
it gets worse.
The fact that they have to be using slaves just to keep some of their economy afloat is bad on its own.
I think it demonstrates the lack of intelligence. On top of that, it demonstrates the lack of understanding what humanity is. And not only that, but if we're going to talk about morals, it demonstrates why a lot of people, especially like in the United States and the more Western countries, don't care much for the Muslim faith, is because of extremists like this. It's the same kind of extremists that also participate, and this is where it kind of does connect to the U.S. slavery of the Civil War era, is that a lot of those people were extremists to use the Bible. And this is the same method being applied. It's just a different religion. It's why I state all the time that humanity,
it's a different religion and a different book. Like, they basically,
but it's the same logic.
It's the same logic and the same message
and the same reason.
Instead of heaven, it's Allah.
It's the same tactics, because like how they use the Bible, these people use their own version of the Bible, which is called the Quran. Yeah. And they use the Quran to justify like bombing buildings and like killing people, slaving people. They use the Quran to justify everything. They actually use the Quran to justify like the slavery too, which is a known fact.
Well,
You
there's
can
a
play
lot
the
of
video.
there's a lot of stuff in the Quran specifically around slavery.
Yeah, there's like a lot.
And
of
isn't there a
factors.
lot about like
The
forced
Quran
marriage?
basically supports, like the Quran.
Forced,
Like,
okay, Triton, if you can stop talking over me real quick. The forced, so Sharia's law is probably the worst thing in the Quran that people try to use in the modern day. There were some advocates trying to bring it to the U.S. and basically it's what allows them to have slaves. It's what allows them to have forced marriages, and it's what allows it's the Quran's, like, you know how we have like not the Constitution, but you know how we have like the 10 Commandments. The Quran has the Sharia's law, which is pretty. I'm going to bring up Sharia's law actually.
Yeah, let me full screen it for the audience here.
Full text.
The difference being that the 10 Commandments was passed down, was allegedly, depending on who you believe, if you believe it, was passed down from the Lord to help the Israelites stay on the path of righteousness.
Yeah, it's the same structure. It's a religious law that was laid down for the principles of mental, spiritual, and physical behavior.
Yeah.
Here we go. This will go over it.
But I'm sure this is going to get twisted very quickly.
So it brings up the differences in men and women. So misogyny. It has. This doesn't even have all of it. Son of a bitch. Fuck. I hate this shit, bro.
I don't blame you at all, one bit. I hate researching
I don't
on
blame
Google.
you either. This shit is like AIDS as fuck.
So it's the path to water, or the way, which is 5 main goals, more or less, 5 major goals of Sharia, which is the concept of there's a lot of shit on it regarding human rights violations, because it's very bad in the sense that it's what allows them to marry children and shit.
I was saying now, in comparison,
where is it?
I was saying in comparison, you should pull up the 10 Commandments to show like the big difference between the two.
Yeah, let me try and do that.
So when it comes to Sharia law, the age of consent is basically nothing.
In a sense,
Yep.
yes.
It's non-existent.
The idea is
Oh
that once a
my
person
God.
hits puberty, that they are perfectly capable
There it
of
is.
giving birth to
Yeah, the
children,
free game,
that you're
basically.
Oh
supposed to
my
do
God.
as you feel.
It's not really that. I mean, it is that, but this is like
That's-
separate congregations. Hold up.
I was saying that's not that's the separations.
Where the
Not good. Not good.
is it? Trying to find shit on Sharia's law online is just impossible.
Because there's not much known about it
Um,
comparatively to, as far as the U.S. is concerned, there's not much known about it comparatively to the Bible. Because whether people like it or not, the Constitution was partially inspired by the Bible and some of its morals and
But
principles.
Sharia's law was brought in by and inspired by the Quran. So essentially, they're more or less the same, except the Quran is very barbaric in comparison.
To the Constitution of the United States.
There's 5 different schools.
There's got to be like a list somewhere. There's got to
There-
be a list where like it says
Well-
each law and what that law does.
Let's go back to the video, and then while we play the video, while we're commentating on it, I could see if I could find it, so I could do
Yeah,
research on my
so
phone.
Sharia allows them to do capital punishment. There's like a whole list. We need someone in here. Coldfire, can you try finding the actual text for Sharia law while we go into the video a little bit further?
Yeah, I can try.
All right.
Appreciate it, homie.
40% of men and 60% of women are illiterate. This country is one of the 10 least visited countries in the world.
I wonder why.
The population of this country is 3.3 million
I know,
people.
right?
100%
Hold
of
on,
the population
pause it
are
for a little
Muslims.
bit. Zoran said he would actually live there. I wonder if he's still here.
Oh
Sorry.
my God.
To be fair, if I owned like a military company and I was like going to exploit the third world for like training, they'd be dropped in this fucking country, and then after they succeeded here, they'd be in Iraq.
Wait, don't they?
Like, I mean, I'm just being
Oh.
honest. If I was gonna exploit like third worlds and make like a paramilitary company that's just like paid to fucking do whatever they're fucking paid to do, that's how I would do it. And I bet you
probably actually
95% of the
they
warlords that existed for like the African cartels and shit probably came from these kind of countries, if not worse.
I bet you the military actually does that shit where they drop military people to these third world countries to see if they can survive and shit. I think they actually do that.
I mean, they already mentioned companies mining their ore and shit on the country, so there's no doubt there's paramilitary guarding that shit.
Yeah.
I'm kind of doubtful of
100%.
the U.S., but we will see. Because then
I mean,
again,
Coca-Cola hired death squads in Venezuela.
that's Coca-Cola for you.
Really?
Like, that's confirmed.
I forget why they hired them.
Great.
Illegal paddle. apparently, that's a whole separate subject that I would love to cover. But Coca-Cola hired death squads in Venezuela and Colombia.
Yeah, I forget the reason why. Cause I
And
remember hearing about
a
it.
shit ton of people.
We can cover that on Monday's episode. We'll talk more about it off air.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and play this.
50% of the working population is employed in agriculture, 10% in industry, and 40% in the service sector. Mauritania is the last state in the world where slave owners don't get persecuted. Despite the official abolition of slavery, first in 1980, Mauritania was the last country in the world where it was still allowed. And then in 2007, de facto, about 20% of the population of Mauritania are slaves. There are no reliable statistics on how many slaves there are in Mauritania because the country's government doesn't take them into account during the census and denies the very fact of their existence. However, according to human rights activists, up to 740,000 of the country's residents actually remain in slavery to this day.
Okay, so yeah, that